Welcome back, Nerd Squad, to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers. And if you happen to be new here to our channel, we put out daily content on all things nerd, so tap that subscribe button to see more from us in the future. Plus, we love hearing from you all, so comment down below which superhero annoys you the most. Don't say me. And while you ponder that, let's jump into today's list of the top 10 scary superheroes everyone hates. In at number 10, Reed Richards. Not too many people view Reed Richards as a scary superhero, at least at face value. However, if you look into what he is truly capable of, you'll take a second glance real quick. Reed has one of the highest levels of intelligence in the MCU, yet despite this, many fans view him as more of a mad scientist than anything else. For example, the time that he and others cloned Thor and sent him to attack the Anti-Superhuman Registration Act heroes. That may sound like an act of defense, but in reality, the clone was killing superheroes that were actually close friends of not just the Fantastic Four, but Reed Richards as well. On top of that, Mr. Fantastic's ability to convert the mass of his entire body into a highly malleable state at will could be used to do some pretty heinous things if he ever wanted to. Things we wouldn't wish on our worst enemies. In at number 9, the Inhumans. With all of these behind the scenes deals over ownership of certain heroes to be used for the big screen, many fans were disappointed to learn that essentially the bland Inhumans would be the new moniker for mutants in the MCU. This has led many fans to not help but think that the Inhumans are being crammed in our face in lieu of not getting the rights to the X-Men. The team appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 and Marvel Comics Infinity and Inhumanity. It was here that it became apparent that the Inhumans should be viewed as a threat versus our salvation. When Thanos invaded Earth looking for his son Thane, the Inhuman leader Black Bolt unleashed massive clouds of Terrigen mist into the Earth's atmosphere. This mist soon settled into two enormous clouds that mixed with the atmosphere, transforming them into a substance that was toxic for all mutants. In at number 8, the Hulk. There are so many problems with the Hulk's character that it's difficult to pin down just a few for this point. First and foremost, this scary superhero has had a myriad of different actors attempt to properly portray the Green Machine, and just when you think they got it, boom, casting change. It's been years since the Hulk had his own solo film, and for good reason. The character was entirely absent when needed most in Avengers Infinity War, and then Endgame turned him into even more of a joke with his odd new hipster Hulk appearance. Regardless of how much fans hated this, the Hulk still remains as one of the more terrifying superheroes in the MCU. His power is virtually unmatched, and when his anger gets out of control, he only becomes harder to defeat. Not exactly a superhero that you'd want to double cross anytime soon.
Time travel! What? I see this as an absolute win.
In at number 7, Iron Man. Besides the tired shtick that we've watched Tony Stark do over and over again throughout the MCU, it's his influence as a billionaire weapon manufacturer that makes him both hated and scary. The MCU attempted to move him away from his roots of creating weapons that ultimately land in the wrong hands, killing innocents, by making him more of a mentor for other heroes, but you can never undo the previous films. The cherry on top, though, was the spawning of Ultron, who took Stark's words for peace and showed us the true evil within those words, only the way that an unfeeling AI can do.
Who sent you?
I see a suit of armor around the world.
Ultron.
In the flesh. Or no, not yet.
The worst part is that in order to defeat this big mistake, he had to create Vision, yet another uncontrolled godlike entity that could have just as easily only made things worse. As smart as Tony Stark is, it's that enormous ego that people not only hate, but are scared of as well, and rightfully so. In at number 6, SHAZAM. For Billy Batson, it's not just his juvenile nature that audiences didn't care for, it's the fact that there has been a number of changes made to the character itself. People engaged in a heated debate online as to whether or not he was Shazam or Captain Marvel. Either way, he's like a goofy, uncoordinated Superman that just got his powers. Despite all of the name changes and general buffoonery, the character of Shazam is without a doubt scary. He's the ultimate what-if kind of character. I mean, they've literally bestowed a teenager with divine empowerment and the physical stature of an adult. The result is absolute carelessness on the part of someone who probably never had to deal with such dire consequences for their actions in their entire life. Sure, he saved that bus full of people in the film, but he's also the one who caused the accident in the first place, making Shazam both hated and feared by those who ride the public transit system in Philadelphia.
Put this thing out again, put this thing out!
be a good dog, good dog.
In at number 5, Green Lantern. Hal Jordan is by far no one's favorite Green Lantern. Everything from the dumb version of Frank Miller's All-Star Batman and Robin to the awful portrayal by Ryan Reynolds, fans have had quite the distaste for Green Lantern, leading many fans of DC to even dislike the Lego movie version of the character as well. He didn't even make the cut for Super Friends or the Justice League. That means his own friends had to save the world and opted for not calling him in.
Yeah, I noticed, but fire's no problem for me. As I was saying, Green Lantern can do anything.
Except shut up, apparently.
Even still, we should not forget how powerful Hal as the Green Lantern truly is. His Green Lantern ring mastery gives Hal the ability to bring anything into existence just from thinking about it. This could mean world-ending weapons appearing from nothing and being used in collaboration with his superhuman strength. As much as we dislike him, it's probably a good thing that he's on our side. In at number 4, Aquaman. Aquaman has been the center of internet and comic book fan scrutiny for years. With so many iterations of the character being drawn up and scrapped, fans have relentlessly mocked Aquaman. Jason Momoa's portrayal of the character added a few more layers, but what's worse than being a boring superhero is hating him for being so overpowered. Public service announcements about boating safety aside, the King of the Deep is one scary superhero. Despite being born half human, he has a real distrust and hatred for humans. He almost saves them as a way of proving that he's above them.
It's on him.
In at number 3, Superman. Now here's a classic superhero that we would never ever want to get on the bad side of, yet regardless of the feats of strength that Kal-El has shown, he still gets a ton of hate. Zack Snyder's film portrayed him as the superhero who sort of knew that he was awesome but didn't owe humanity anything, and throughout the comic books his obnoxious rebrands have been the subject of much disdain. All of that aside, it's this boring label that he gets smacked with repeatedly that truly holds his character back. There isn't much complexity to the story of Superman, and because the majority of us understand his origins, we often take him for granted as a superhero. Even in Batman vs Superman, many fans wondered why exactly we needed this type of film and really what good it would do for his reputation. What we saw was that Superman is still a force to be reckoned with, and again, despite our hatred for, a superhero that we should constantly be in fear of. In at number 2, Ghost Rider. It wasn't just the fact that the Ghost Rider movie was played by Nicolas Cage that made fans hate the character, it was the watered down portrayal that truly upset the fans. Ghost Rider was a character designed for the express purpose of being this edgy R-rated superhero, but that's just not what we got. Even the sequel for the film felt like a cry for help. They just can't let him go, and for good reason. He's terrifying, and the battle of someone being controlled by an evil force but attempting to use it for good is an inherently compelling narrative. This is why we saw Marvel jump ship on the Johnny Blaze version and push forward in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where we saw the Robbie Reyes version of the character making an appearance. Hopefully the new one will be better. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Cyclops. Scott Summers. Where do we even begin with this white bread, whiny, child-endangering superhero? I guess those last 3 remarks are a good place to start. In the eyes of some fans, Cyclops is their favorite team leader, but for many his creepy flirting with teenage Jean Grey was enough for fans to, well, hate his guts. As a result, Scott has been the center and main recipient of a ton of backlash from comic book fans. All of that hatred aside though, Cyclops is without a doubt scary powerful. His optic blasts have gone haywire before, and when he's not leveling cities with his eyes alone, he can be quite the jerk. His bland nature would never make him complex enough to become a villain, but even if he did, I bet his motivations for destroying the world would be Wolverine swooping up his lady.
Summers!
And that has been the top 10 scary superheroes everyone hates. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then show us some love by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this list. And for more videos like this one, all you have to do is click that playlist on the screen. From Top 10 Nerd, I'm Johnny Rogers, and until next time, take care.